A deep space shuttle docks at an unknown alien station. The human Captain Reed Carter steps inside, thinking he is attending a routine diplomatic briefing. Instead, he finds dozens of alien women from multiple species standing in a silent hall, staring at him the moment the doors open. Every one of them repeats the same strange sentence. "You're late, humans." Reed doesn't know why they know him. He doesn't know why they were waiting. And he doesn't know why they all look both relieved and afraid. Reed tries to talk, but the aliens move together, forming a circle around him. A tall blue-skinned warrior woman steps forward, saying he is the chosen variable of something called the stellar Rite. The Rite is apparently a galactic tradition, where representatives must compete for power, alliance, and control of ancient technology. But this time the ritual has changed. Because a human has been selected, and no one understands why. Reed learns that the alien women are leaders, generals, strategists, and heirs of their species. All were summoned because the Rite predicted they would need to work with the human. But the Rite is never wrong until now. His arrival was supposed to prevent a cosmic disaster. But he is 3 hours late, and something terrible may have already begun. The station suddenly shakes. Lights flicker. A deep, ancient voice echoes through the halls. Variable unstable, convergence initiated. The alien women panic. Reed is pushed into a shielded chamber. The blue warrior woman tells him, "You were late, now everything will be harder and more dangerous." Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The docking clamps hit the side of the small human shuttle with a loud metallic click that echoed through the quiet cabin. Captain Reed Carter sat alone in the cockpit, staring at the strange alien station outside his window. It floated like a giant silver ring in the darkness of deep space, glowing softly with blue light. It did not look hostile, but it also did not look friendly. It looked ancient, tired, watching him. Reed took a slow breath. Just a short meeting, he told himself, 30 minutes in and out. That was what Command had told him. A simple diplomatic check-in with members of a peaceful multi-species council. Nothing dangerous, nothing stressful. One human officer, one station, one conversation, one handshake. But even as he unbuckled his seat belt and stood up, something in his chest whispered that the mission was not simple at all. He felt it crawling behind his ribs like quiet static. Something was waiting for him. He walked to the airlock. The door slid open with a smooth hiss and warm alien light spilled into the shuttle. He stepped out, his boots touching the floor of the station for the first time. The air was cleaner than he expected, sweet almost, like plants after rain. But the hallway was empty, completely empty. No welcoming party. No escort. No diplomats waiting. Just a long curved corridor lit by glowing crystal panels. Reed frowned. "Hello." His voice bounced softly off the walls, swallowed quickly by the station's strange acoustics. He walked forward, his heartbeat felt too loud in his ears. He kept checking behind him even though he knew no one was there. The quiet felt wrong. Someone should have been waiting for him. They sent a docking code. They approved his approach. They called him here. So where were they? He followed the curved path until it led to a wide circular door. The lights on the edges blinked in a slow pattern, unlocking some kind of seal. The door opened. And Reed froze. Inside the huge hall stood dozens of alien women. Every one of them stopped what they were doing and turned toward him the moment he stepped in. Some were tall with armor-like skin, some were small with glowing eyes, some looked almost human except for their long ears or metallic hair. Others were covered in thin feathers or smooth scales. Different species, different cultures, different worlds, all gathered in the same place. Every pair of alien eyes locked on him. Reed's breath caught in his throat. His hand instinctively moved toward the small emergency beacon clipped to his belt, but he didn't press it. Not yet. They weren't attacking. They weren't moving at all. They were simply staring. Then they spoke. All at once. All together. All in one voice. "You're late, humans." Reed stumbled back a step. The synchronized voices were soft but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. "I late," he said. "I don't even know what meeting this is supposed to be. No one told me anything besides." "You are late," they repeated, though not as synchronized this time. Some sounded angry. Some sounded relieved, a few looked almost afraid. Reed swallowed. I don't know what you're expecting from me. A tall blue-skinned woman stepped forward from the group. Her eyes were gold and bright, and she wore armor decorated with symbols that pulsed softly. She seemed like the leader, or at least the one with the most authority. Her expression was calm but heavy with meaning. You were summoned, she said, chosen by the Rite. Reed blinked. The what? The stellar Rite, she said, a tradition older than our recorded history, a call to gather every cycle when the fabric of destiny begins to fail. Reed lifted an eyebrow. Destiny, Rite. You are the chosen variable, she continued as if he hadn't spoken. And your arrival was predicted at the turning of the cycle. We were told you would come when the lights of the station shift to blue, but you did not arrive then. You arrived late, hours late. Reed opened his mouth, closed it, tried again. You must have the wrong human. I handle transport routes and minor trading agreements. I'm not, whatever that is, a chosen anything. The alien woman took one slow step closer. Her presence felt heavier than her size. The Rite is never wrong. Reed resisted the urge to step back. It was this time. A low murmur spread through the alien women, whispering, uneasy, confused. A feather-covered woman with bright yellow eyes hissed under her breath. If the variable is confused, the Rite may truly be unstable. Another with metallic silver skin crossed her arms. We may have already failed. The signal was off, the timing broken. The blue leader raised her hand, and the room went silent instantly. We cannot assume failure, she said. We move forward. He is here now. She turned back to Reed. Human, we will explain as we proceed, but we must begin immediately. Your lateness has already shifted the pattern of the station. The Rite is reacting. Reed felt his skin crawl. Reacting how? As if answering his question, the lights flickered. The floor trembled beneath their feet. A deep, ancient rumble rolled through the chamber like thunder traveling through metal. A voice, not spoken but resonating through the walls, echoed. Variable unstable. Convergence initiated. Many of the alien women gasped. Some looked up at the ceiling, others reached for weapons or devices. Fear spread fast across the room. What was that? Reed demanded. The blue-skinned leader turned toward him with sudden urgency. It means the Rite has begun without complete preparation. It means the system believes time is already collapsing. Reed stared at her. Time is what? We must move, she snapped. Before he could respond, two alien women grabbed his arms, gently but firmly, and pulled him toward another hallway. He didn't fight. Fighting seemed like the worst possible choice right now. Instead, he tried to keep up. The group moved fast, down the hall, around a sharp corner, into a chamber sealed by a shimmering force field. As soon as Reed stepped inside, the force field closed behind him like a glowing wall. He was trapped inside the room with the blue leader, while the others waited outside. What is going on? Reed said. The leader placed her palm on a glowing stone panel. The chamber lit up with a giant hologram. The image flickered, sharp and bright, an enormous view of the galaxy. Stars, nebulae, the spiraling arms of their cosmic home. But something was wrong. The edges of the galaxy were burning. Bright red cracks appeared like fractures spreading through glass. The hologram pulsed in warning. A countdown appeared on the side. 24:00:00. Hours, not days, not weeks. 24 hours until something. Reed felt his throat go dry. What is that? The end, the leader said softly. He stared at her. The end of what? She looked him directly in the eyes. The end of everything in this galaxy. Reed felt his knees weaken. You think what? This is my fault because I was late. It is not your fault, she said, but your lateness changed the course of the Rite, and the Rite guides the stabilizing systems. Without a stable variable, the convergence begins out of sequence. That doesn't explain why I'm here in the first place, Reed shouted. It explains everything, she said calmly, because you are human. He blinked. That's not an explanation. She moved closer, her gold eyes glowing under the blue lights of the chamber. Humans are unpredictable, illogical, impossible for timeline models to fully calculate. Your kind does not follow the paths expected of most civilizations. That is why you were chosen, because the Rite needs uncertainty. It needs something that can break a predetermined future. Reed shook his head slowly. Look, I don't know who told you humans can break destiny, but most of us can barely break out of bed in the morning. And yet you break patterns without meaning to, she said. You improvise, you defy structure, you create chaos that leads to survival. The Rite believes this quality can save the galaxy when all else fails. Reed stared at the hologram again, at the burning edges of the galaxy, at the countdown. 24 hours. He swallowed hard, and if I had arrived on time. The system would have calibrated correctly, she said. The Rite would have aligned with your presence, the countdown would not have begun yet. But since I'm late, everything is harder and more dangerous. The chamber shook again, the hologram glitched, a loud alarm echoed through the station. Outside the force field, several alien women scrambled to secure equipment. Others shouted orders. The calm, controlled atmosphere was gone, replaced with rising panic. Reed exhaled shakily. So what do we do now? The blue leader reached over to a tall pedestal and removed a circular device glowing with shifting patterns. She held it out to him. We begin the Rite, immediately. You must complete it before the convergence reaches the core systems. Reed did not reach for the device. I don't know how. No one knows how, she said. That is the point. Humans solve things by doing, not planning. Not comforting, he muttered. She stepped closer and gently placed the device in his hands. It was warm, almost alive. The patterns shifted faster when he touched it. The galaxy chose you, she said. He laughed without humor. The galaxy made a mistake. No, she said, humans break mistakes. Reed stared at the glowing device, at the countdown, at the hologram of a dying galaxy. Then he looked at the alien leader. Okay, he whispered, tell me what to do. She nodded slowly, the faintest sign of hope in her eyes. First, she said, you must survive the first trial. Reed's stomach dropped. There are trials. There are many, and each one reacts to your human nature. Meaning, she said with a serious look. The Rite will test your fear, your instinct, your trust, your courage, and your ability to confuse fate itself. That last one isn't a skill, Reed said. For humans, she replied, it is. The chamber lights dimmed. A second force field appeared behind him. A circular doorway opened in the floor, glowing with swirling light. The blue leader stepped back. The Rite accepts you, she said. Enter and do not hesitate. The system reacts badly to hesitation. Reed stared into the glowing opening. He took one breath. Then another. Great, he muttered. I'm about to save the galaxy by being late and confused. Perfect. And he stepped into the light. Reed felt weightless the moment he stepped through the glowing portal. Light swallowed him completely, and for a short moment he could not feel his body. There was no sound, no floor, no air. Only a strange humming around him, like energy learning his shape. Then his boots hit solid ground again. He stumbled forward into a huge chamber. The air was warm. The room was shaped like a sphere, with walls covered in shifting patterns that looked almost alive. Lines of light moved like veins, pulsing softly with rhythm. The floor beneath him was smooth metal, but when he stepped on it, it rippled like water before becoming solid again. Reed stood still. Okay, this is new. A calm voice echoed inside the chamber. Not male, not female, something older, something tired. Human variable detected. Reed turned in a circle. No speaker, no source. Hello. First trial, fear response calibration. Reed groaned. I don't like the sound of that. The chamber darkened except for a single spotlight on him. The air grew colder. He felt pressure building around his chest, like invisible hands pushing inward. A shape formed across the room, tall, dark and blurry. At first Reed thought it was a shadow, then it grew eyes, dozens of them, red, watching him with hunger. Another shape formed behind him, this one taller, its breath echoed like a beast ready to strike. A third one slithered across the wall, leaving behind a trail of darkness. Reed's heartbeat exploded in his ears. They were not real. At least he hoped not. But fear did not care about logic. Fear is the first force of convergence, the chamber voice said. Fear decides patterns, fear decides survival. Reed backed up slowly. Look, I get that this is some kind of test, but I'd prefer a written exam. The shadows hissed. Reed felt something sharp brush the back of his neck. He spun around, swinging instinctively. His fist passed straight through the shape, it vanished like smoke. Holograms, Reed said to himself, or illusions, they're trying to scare me. The chamber voice spoke again. Humans survive fear by confronting the unknown. Proceed. The eyes grew brighter, the shadows grew larger, the air grew colder. Reed closed his eyes. He remembered the blue leader's words. Humans break destiny. He took a slow breath and walked straight toward the nearest shadow. It hissed and grew claws. It towered over him like a nightmare. But Reed didn't stop. He pushed his hand forward, almost touching it. The shadow cracked apart like glass. The others did the same. One by one they shattered into light until the entire chamber became bright again. Warm, calm. The voice spoke with approval. Fear response passed. Reed exhaled. That's one, I hope the rest are easier. The floor beneath him shifted again, turning into a platform that moved upward. As he rose, the walls opened like the petals of a giant flower. The upper chamber revealed a long path floating in the air. Energy bridges connected various platforms. Some platforms glowed, some flickered, some sparked dangerously. A door stood far at the end. Reed stepped forward carefully. Second trial, trust sequence. He frowned. Trust what? The first bridge solidified, the second flickered wildly, the third looked stable but hummed strangely, the fourth one was dark. Reed squinted. There was no pattern, nothing to guide him. Then he heard footsteps behind him. The blue-skinned leader walked out of a side portal, along with two other alien women, one feathered, one metallic-skinned. Reed, the leader said, the system allows us to assist you for this trial. Reed sighed with relief. Finally, actual people. But, she continued, you may not trust us. He blinked. What does that mean? The feathered woman hissed softly. One of us is an illusion, a false copy. If you choose the wrong one, you fail the trial. Reed stared at them. Great, a trust game in a deadly chamber with alien illusions. The metallic-skinned woman nodded. You must decide who is real. Only the real ones can help you cross. Reed rubbed his forehead. Okay, all right, let me think. He studied them one at a time. The metallic woman stood perfectly still. Too still, not a single blink, not a twitch. The feathered woman tapped her claws nervously. Her feathers puffed when sparks jumped from a platform. The blue leader watched him calmly, with the same expression she had in the main hall. He pointed. You, he said to the metallic woman, you're the fake. She tilted her head. Why me? Reed shrugged. You look like you're trying too hard. No one stands that still unless they're a statue. The woman blinked for the first time. A flicker of static crossed her body. Then she vanished. The blue leader allowed herself a small smile. Correct. The feathered woman hissed softly. Then we guide you. Together they showed him which platforms to step on. Some were illusions, some were unstable, some were deadly traps. With their help, Reed crossed. He reached the door and the chamber shifted again. The voice echoed. Trust sequence passed. Reed exhaled. Okay, 2 down, what's next? Courage, logic, running from fire. The blue leader stepped through the doorway with him. No, she said, the final trial is something only humans can complete. The Rite calls it the Chaos Trial. Reed rubbed his face. Fantastic, sounds very safe. They walked into the next chamber. It was huge, a perfect sphere like the first chamber but much larger. In the center floated a massive swirling core of light, gold, red and purple, twisting like a storm. Platforms orbited around it, moving in unpredictable patterns. Energy arcs leapt between them. The air felt charged, electric, tense. Chaos trial begin. Reed looked at the blue leader. What do I do? The system will attempt to predict your actions, she said. You must break its predictions. How? By doing what a human does best. Which is something unexpected. Reed stared at the chaotic chamber. The platforms moved in crazy directions, some fast, some slow. No obvious route existed. The core in the middle pulsed stronger with each second. A hologram appeared above the core, showing the countdown. 03-24-19. The galaxy was running out of time. Reed took a breath. Okay, if this system expects logic, let's give it nonsense. He stepped onto the first platform. It jerked forward. He jumped to another one, then purposely jumped backward again. The system responded, shifting the platforms quickly to block him. That's right, Reed muttered. Try to predict this. He ducked under an energy arc, rolled across a platform, jumped sideways onto a slower one. Then he stopped completely, confusing the system. The platforms froze for a millisecond, unsure how to respond. Reed took advantage and sprinted forward. The blue leader shouted from behind him, "You are confusing the core too much, be cautious." "Cautious is predictable," Reed yelled back. The system fired a beam of energy toward him. He didn't dodge it the way a trained fighter would. Instead, he tripped accidentally and fell under it. The beam missed by inches. The core flared violently. Reed scrambled upward and kept running. See, humans fail perfectly. He jumped to the final platform and landed hard. The platform shuddered. The core blinked in confusion. Then the chamber went silent. Completely silent. The energy froze, the platforms froze, the core stopped spinning. A deep rumble shook the air. The countdown hologram flickered rapidly. Chaos trial passed. The core flashed bright white and shattered like glass. Reed shielded his eyes. When the light faded, he was standing in a different room. The blue leader and several alien women appeared beside him, transporting by the system. The leader placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did it," she said softly. "You completed the rite." Reed let out a weak laugh. "Great, does that mean the galaxy is safe?" She looked at the hologram appearing before them. The countdown reset. 24:00:00. But instead of the galaxy burning at the edges, the hologram now showed stable energy lines. Bright, balanced. The other alien women bowed their heads toward Reed. The feathered woman whispered, "Human, you broke the pattern, you stopped the collapse." Reed looked around awkwardly. Thanks, but I really just did everything wrong on purpose." "Exactly," the leader said. "That is why it worked." Reed shook his head with disbelief. "So that's it, the galaxy is safe." The leader hesitated. Reed felt his stomach drop. "Why are you hesitating?" Another hologram appeared. A new countdown. But this one wasn't for the galaxy. It showed a single point on the map, a blue-green world. Earth. The timer flashed. 06:00:00. Only 6 hours. Reed felt cold. What is that?" The leader's voice was quiet. "The Rite predicts a new convergence. A second collapse, but this time the center is not the station, it is your home." Reed stared at the hologram. "Earth, why?" "We do not know," she said. "But the Rite chose you for this reason. You were not late for the galaxy, you were early for Earth." Reed clenched his fists. "Then we go right now." The blue leader nodded. "We will follow you, all of us, the galaxy owes you help." Reed turned toward the portal, eyes sharp, fear gone. "Let's move," he said. "I'm not late this time." End.